What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this X breakdown and review. I know it's a bit late, but this did come out when a lot of movies were out at the cinema, which I didn't have time to see all of them. But now it's out on VOD, and this is the latest horror movie from A24, I think, as the UK releases are absolutely chaotic at best, and we are getting Everything Everywhere All at Once a week after the Multiverse of Madness. Can't wait to watch that on the smallest screen in the cinema. Now, this is an homage to the 70s horror flicks, such as Texas Chainsaw Massacre being the most obvious, and that is my favourite horror movie. I mean, we do deserve a good version of that after the recent sequel, which was absolute trash. Now, we open with 24 hours before what happened in the meat of the movie here, with a house very similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But the movie is, the plot, not really like that. We follow a troupe of filmmakers, or should I say pornographers, actors and actresses with dreams of making it in the industry in 1979, with their leader trying to capitalise on the home video boom. Except, well, they're probably not going to get to do that. It seems like this guy manipulates these women as they start to try to film their blaxploitation erotic movie, with both the director and cameraman / editor having ideas above their station. Up until now, we have heard TVs and radio with TV Evangelist. I did think at first that this would be like one of those ones where they hate these like hippie liberal types, but actually, it turns out that that was Maxine's father, and this stuff was was going to talk about her going missing into the porn industry, which was quite interesting. I did like that twist at the end. After a slowdown due to a hit cow, which I think might have been engineered at their backlot, but one of the girls has reservations, who is Lorraine, played by Jenny Ortega. You may recognise her from Scream. I was hoping she would be the final girl in this movie, so she could be our new Scream Queen, but sadly, she did not. And she's trying to be a filmmaker, but seems to object to the nature of the movie, as she hates this whole kind of porn industry. She thinks it's sleaze until she gets involved. Now, they turn up at the backlot, and the homeowner is confused and pulls a shotgun on them. It's a close call, but the gun wasn't loaded, which I thought would play into the thing at the end. I thought one of the girls would try to shoot someone with it, but it wasn't loaded, and then they end up dying. I thought that'd be good there. A lot of payoffs don't really pay off here, as one of the girls sees the weirdo in a window, which was the wife there, giving some creepy, like, psycho vibes there, I thought. And I love it. And we learn how the actor Jackson served in Vietnam, as the owner is creepy and staring at Maxine. And it turns out that these two just kill people to get their rocks off. Now, the sex starts and is actually super graphic, as the cameraman tries to make art, but Jackson's having none of it. That man just wants to lay down and get on with it. Stupidly, we are kind of having Maxine head off on her own as she's stalked by the wife, who watches them and sits in the side of the swimming hole. And one payoff does actually work here, where we get the crocodile or alligator, whatever it is, that would come back to kill one of the characters later. The cameraman and Wayne discuss how this is going to be peak cinema. This is Scorsese. And poor Lorraine gets the skeet towel thrown at her as the subject of love and faking it comes along, as Lorraine just sits there like, okay. However, Maxine almost gets eaten, like I said, as we get more filming for the farmer's daughter, which is hilarious. But in her way back, Maxine comes along the old lady, who is ominously staring at her, and she follows her in the main house after being beckoned and is offered lemonade. We see this being poured in the porno, and it parallels real life. The very neat touch there with the scenes being parallels of each other. And the old lady seems jealous of Maxine's youth and life, as she was a young dancer once. And I love how the actress plays both roles. Just as the lady touches her, the husband arrives and Pearl says she should go and runs into her fiance, which was a neat jumpy moment, and she starts to have her seen and taking drugs to cope. They dangerously film in the cowshed as the themes of youth continue, as Maxine's porn character says her sister in the movie is jealous as the idea of disturbing the farm owner happens, which I thought would happen here. It did subvert my expectations, as Pearl does her hair emboldened by the youth at the farm, which does remind me of Psycho mixed with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Shining, and she watches the Maxine ride Jackson as they swap places for a second in her head, which again was very Shining. Now Pearl tries to seduce her husband. He's having none of it as he has a frail heart, which pays off later, and Maxine starts on Lorraine for kind of staring, and she thinks she's holier than thou, that Lorraine, but they talk about they just getting it in while they're young, and they sing Landslide as the old lady's upset at her aging and lack of youth, as Lorraine decides she wants to be in the movie, and she name drops Psycho and really belittles what I presume is her boyfriend here about how he's just making porn, he's not making true cinema. It's funny how the cameraman was also like all about the sex industry until this girl wants to get absolutely railed on camera, which was pretty funny. And after this scene, he just cries in the shower. His perceived nice girl is no longer just that, as he drives off and wants to get one over on them, but comes into contact with the old lady, who ends up wanting to do him, but she kills him after being rejected. Well, after this, we have Lorraine going looking for him as she's worried about him going missing, and he's told she's probably just processing things, as Wayne is killed by a pitchfork trying to help her, and they find the farm owner and is asked to go in the basement, only to locate a man who has been mutilated and naked. Now, in the next scene, he's actually the one missing on the milk carton, as the farm owner actually tries to get him to help, but they just get more victims there. That's all they want to do. We then have Jackson abandoned as Lorraine is stuck in the basement, but Howard shoots Jackson, the farm owner, and Lorraine tries to break out of the basement as poor Jackson. I liked him. And that's Kid Cudi? I never know how to pronounce his name. I thought he was pretty good in this. And the whole ruse is that Pearl needs saving, but, well, Pearl ends up hitting the blonde girl there after being offended at saying she needs a nurse, and is pushed into the lake. The married couple talk about how the murders and how he can't give her what he wants, but they finally get it on as Maxine is under the bed. Awkward, but she manages to find Lorraine, who blames Maxine for everything that's going on, but she gets shot, and Maxine's the final girl as she has, or the farm owner has a heart attack, and, well, yeah, she lets them die, drives off, and brutally kills, of course, Pearl. Now, it turns out that she was the daughter of the preacher seen throughout the movie, and I really like this idea of this liberalism, of this youth trying to get it in while they're young. I thought this was a really decent movie. I did expect more of a slasher. I thought this would be more of a slasher movie than I was. It took quite a while to get going, but overall I really enjoyed it. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like down below. Do subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.